Okay, so I guess I'm streaming. I guess I'm live. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do today, but we'll just craft. How do I let me turn up my volume. Okay. Okay, so I craft. Long story short, I make little things for D&D Beyond, not Beyond, D&D in general. There's a Star Wars version as well. I just got some pre-made trees, but these suckers are kind of small compared to the miniatures. So I got kinds of branch things. Let's see if I can play with them and see if they're worth any using. So if they were to be just normal trees, they're different heights. As you can see, it makes a mess. That's why I was in double bagged here. So this is like a normal sized miniature. This is actually one that I made with HeroForge.com. It's supposed to just be me as the DM. I prefer to DM, I think, but I do enjoy playing a lot too, so it goes either way. So I was having players making a bunch of these miniatures on Hero Forge, and I got jealous because I also wanted one, and it ended up coming out like this. It's just be silly, and then it's kind of cool because when your players are all like talking about something too much or not really listening to you, you can just put your little DM miniature and like, look, someone approaches. It's the DM. He's saying to listen. Silly. But yeah, so the height differential on a lot of these trees is kind of a tough thing here, right? So this is like a normal size miniature. It's me. Um, but yeah, so obviously this bag came with different sizes, as you can see. So some of them are ready to go, but most of them are not. They don't have a base on them. So I figure I was just going to mess around today and see if I can make scatter terrain for the maps and the boards that kind of show that your characters are playing in a forest or near trees. Of these ones that are, I guess, deciduous style don't have bases, but it looks like these ones that are coniferous style have a base, so it can stand straight up. Hopefully, you guys can see that on Instagram. But they stand straight up more easily than obviously these ones do. They just kind of fall over. So yeah, this is a huge bag of a ton of these, and I see why I double bag it because my nice brand new clean cutting board here is now covered in all sorts of little things to sweep up. Most times I craft by myself, unless somebody comes over and wants to paint with me. But yeah, everything I do is a copycat. I'm not claiming that I am, original and coming up with any ideas. I don't know that this is going to even be a how-to video, anyways. But yeah, my inspiration came from I used to paint Warhammer Lord of the Rings miniatures as a kid, and then when I got into D&D, we got excited with the Hero Forge miniatures, and the idea of like painting them came back to me. So I got out the old paints, I got out the um, and I started collecting them. But during COVID, I started buying more miniatures to paint. And I started spending a ton of money on that. It's a little broom. Um, and so then I started getting into 3D printing, which I actually haven't been 3D printing in a long time, but I do have a 3D printing setup here. I also have a uh, paint setup for miniatures. I just got an airbrush, thanks to my very good friends, Wizulis and Lynn, and I've used it for priming only. But yeah, I have these things. These are like little miniatures paints. They're like nicer, finer, supposedly. They're not top of the line paints, but they do the job. This little contraption that holds it, I'm trying not to spill them all because I have a habit of doing that, was 3D printed by my very good friend Eric, who did a lot of my 3D printing as far as filament printing for some things that I have around here. They may pop in, they may not. So yeah, I'm thinking of making trees, making scatter terrain. Um, my inspiration for making my own stuff has, for terrain at least, has been from Black Magic Craft, has been from RP Archive, from shoot, there's a whole bunch of DJ, not DJ, DM Scotty inspired, Wylock inspired, Black Magic Craft inspired, all sorts of people. So it's just something that I started doing. So again, I'm not doing anything that anybody else hasn't done already, other than like my own variation of it, of course, my own painting and crafting skill. But yeah, so let's see what I want to do. There is a tree idea that I got off of YouTube. Let's see from who. On YouTube. Let's see. I always get it's like crafting witchcraft, D&D witchcraft, tabletop witchcraft. Let me find it on my phone here. Sorry, because I feel like I should shout out him because I'm going to be inspired by him today. But it's making a giant tree. Let's see if I can get a picture. There it is. Tabletop witchcraft. Sorry, he made a really cool big tree. I thought maybe I'll look into doing something like this. I don't have all the pieces. This is him on my phone, but you can see he has a bigger tree. Let's see if he got some glory shots here at the end, so you guys can kind of see what his end result is. So this is made out of a toilet paper roll, aluminum foil. He used glue sticks and textured them. He used clay to make little mushrooms, and he had some little miniatures and beads that were like little birds and squirrels and things like that. I don't have those. And yeah, I don't have all the materials that he has, but I figured, I can see if we can get something good looking started. But yeah, obviously it's a live stream, so I don't have a good flow for what I would prefer. It's just like, it to be more of a video. I'm ADHD, so I prefer it to go faster. It's probably going to be times where I'm very quiet, just looking for different things, because I just cleaned up everything, but I did not set up everything. But what I'm looking for is if I can have my wire. Okay, that was interesting. My big box of spray paints, just there's spraying spray paint everywhere in here. Okay. Set that on the side. Okay. But I do have hot glue gun, and then I just picked up a finer tip hot glue gun to see if I can start doing this. I don't even know if I have enough aluminum foil to actually do what I'm talking about. But hey, figure it out as we go if we need to. This it is okay. Yeah, so I craft here and there. Sometimes I craft a lot and I take big breaks. Oh, good, everything's covered in spray paint now. So yeah, I don't actually always know exactly where I placed everything. Yeah, gold spray paint got everywhere in there. never happened to me before. This is beautiful. Got some skewers. Oh. At one point, I bought wire, and I thought I had it here, but I don't see it. I do see that I spilled everything. That is a glue stick, but that's fine because we're about to use a bunch of glue sticks. So I may be getting creative and doing my own thing in a different direction than I had originally thought. But we'll see how it goes. I normally talk to myself when I'm home alone. I might talk to my cat. I might talk to myself in public for some reason. If I'm like grocery shopping, I'm talking to myself. So yeah, when you don't have to worry that people think you're crazy, which you do, my brain does it backwards. And so it feels strange to feel like I have to keep talking. So you guys know what I'm doing? It's probably the most boring stream, but you know, hey, we got it started. Something's going, something's moving. I focused more on cleaning my space than organizing it is my confession right now. All right, I don't see my wire, but yeah, we can still do something. We're gonna get it done. I said have those gloves earlier. If you're commenting, I can't see it because I am streaming on multiple platforms at the same time, and thus have to, I guess, separate those things. So I can't see what platform you're on. Right now, I can't see the messages on there. I don't have a crazy setup. Just something I thought I'd try today. I did find a little fish toy plant I can also use today. Okay, there's this. That's disappointing, but we're gonna make it work. Okay. So a lot of people get wire and they'll twist it together, and what that does is like they'll use it to make the base of the tree and twist it so that it becomes different branches that come off of it. It kind of keeps it as a solid one-piece thing while giving a unique bendy branched tree figure. But I do have all these skewers. I have some aluminum foil. We'll see how it goes. If I run out of aluminum foil, I'll just run down the street and get some more here. It won't be a problem. It'll just be a break. So we're starting with a toilet paper roll. I'm not doing it exactly like our guy did it on the video. Kind of wanted to see an experiment in my own ways, how I might try to adjust or change what I saw. So I just wanted to start off with a chunky trunk. It's kind of coming out too big to me. I want a big tree, but not like a tower, right? So maybe this isn't my goal, but that's okay. We wrinkled it, but that's totally fine. Because we didn't glue anything down yet. Speaking of gluing things down, I might actually start my hot glue gun for when I do want to use it. It takes a little bit for these things to warm up. So I'm just going to put it somewhere where it safely won't fall over and burn down my craft room. skewer in the tinfoil as kind of like a base, of a branch. You feel the tension there, but then you can shape the edges of that branch to be how you want. If you want them to kind of bend and bow more, you can. Hopefully your skewer doesn't stick out too much, but you kind of just want to see what you got. And if you hate it, that's okay, because you can fix it, you can change it, you can start over. And sometimes if it's not perfect, it's actually better, because when things are perfect, we notice them more, right? We it's too obvious that it's like fake. If you do things imperfect, it's one of those things I find in art and crafts where if they're imperfect, they end up actually looking better at the end, right at the last minute. So I'm thinking I've got to shove something down in this toilet paper tube to make these things hold up. I might make a few more branches and just see if I rather just glue them, see where we go from there. So my skewers look like really gross and dirty. These are all for crafting, they're not for food. Maybe I can do a longer one. I see my party's druid is watching our video. I can see, but I can't see every platform, but I can see on Instagram because I am cheating with another account on the stream as well. So we might be the only two on here, but what's up, Sir Francis of the Worm Slaying Clan? Kind of break this and see if it helps make it bendy. So I've broken the skewer to kind of give some bends and breaks or shapes. Not quite all the way broken, but let's see if it helps make a wibbly wobbly branch. If you go on Twitch or YouTube links, and that's at Shiny Silver Serpent, then you may be able to find that the video is bigger than on Instagram. Instagram kind of like mobilizes it, sizes it. Okay. All right. So this is what I got so far. We're getting it going. We can also attach some of the branches from the outside of the tree. We can hot glue them like this on the outside. We don't have to put them all on the inside, obviously. But then what that does is it creates this like where the branches are coming out of the trunk rather than the trunk being so straight all the way up. It is Pride Month right now, so things don't have to be straight, and we can celebrate that. So I just broke this longer branch in half because I'm thinking maybe I'll do more from the outside. Let's see what we got. So branches are usually thicker from the base and get thinner as they go up, as I guess any part of the tree really does. The trunk as well, right? Which is what's happening here when we're going to start attaching these branches. Is it's thicker down here and it goes up. I also want to make sure I'm getting like a root system, maybe not this long, but like roots at the bottom too, to kind of show that the trunk is that midpoint is the thin point. I haven't glued anything down, so sorry, my hands are as you can tell from my hands, I am white. I've been paler, but not much paler. On my video, it looks like it is it is reflecting way too much light. That's okay. Let's see. Maybe I'll start gluing. Let's just do it. I'm gonna stuff one in here so that there's something for the inner branches to kind of be on. Make some roots. Am I going to finish this today? I don't know. Don't know. Oh, it looks like we don't have to do skewers in all of them, but it probably makes it sturdier in the long run. All right, let's make some mistakes. Let's see what happens. And, you know, if I ruin this toilet paper roll, it's like all we have to do is use more restroom paper. I don't have another one. Okay. So hot glue is awesome because it dries super fast. And that's why people use it. It's not good for every possible medium, but it is an exciting thing to be able to work faster because of it. A lot of other glues take a while to cool down or to not cool down, to dry and to really be solid and strong. Like if I was using tacky glue or even super glue, it may take some more time for it to cool down and solidify and then be usable for the next part of what you want to do. Okay, so we got a first little branch here. So yeah, what I'm thinking is being able to like start something and eventually like make the trunk, but then be able to kind of attach these little trees that are the similar colors into it, and then hopefully paint it in a way that it would blend more seamlessly. But if not, you can also make a dead tree. I also have tons of the actual flocking, so I can make my own trees, and those can just be something I stick into like a foam basing and make different like smaller trees. And this can just be a giant tree in the forest, maybe like the Great Deku tree was in Legend of Zelda. Just the biggest tree. It happens a lot of fantasy games, I think. I put them on random, but I'm kind of going to keep it together maybe for this section here, just to see what they might look like as I start going later. We're getting there. We're building something. You've heard of Loki. Well, this is Loki tree. I don't have any sound effects, but I put the right there. But yeah, so this starts making it kind of cohesive. It's hard to see on camera, so basically the first thing you're going to do is kind of make branches and roots. You're going to glue them around the toilet paper roll. It's like you're basing, and the branches start to get up. What's cool about the tinfoil is that the hot glue will stick to it really easily, of course, but the hot glue is eventually going to do a coating on every piece of this, and the hot glue will be something that kind of resembles bark, and the same way that the aluminum foil may resemble bark for the parts that stick out between the hot glue. And then, of course, I just bought the kind of a more fine-tipped version. I don't know if you guys can see that. A more fine-tipped version of the tip in there than this one. So I can use the heat to kind of carve the shape or into little textures myself. We'll just see what we got. We'll see where we're going. Should have bought like a metal washers to put on the bottom. That could have been like a weight for the bottom here. I'm going to kind of see if I can glue this on so that it will stick and kind of help me make a base. So maybe we'll stand up eventually. If you've been to my house and you know me, you can always be like, hey, I'm coming to come craft with you. Teach me something, or I want to try something. Let me know. Like, I would be really excited to, if you had a project idea, to like literally fund all the pieces and possibilities that would be needed. If you say something crazy, like I want to create a pirate ship or something, like you bet that by the time you actually showed up to my house, I would have like ordered everything you might want to try or to use to create it. Um, Although of course our group does have a pirate ship, but that's just one example. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that on camera. Hot glue leaves little webby strings, and so that's one of the downsides. Unless you're utilizing that for another project, like if you're trying to make little wispy, like spider webby looking places for your textures. That's pretty cool. But other than that, yeah, it gets everywhere. And so every once in a while, you kind of have to rub your hands together because they're stuck to your hands, and you have to kind of like make sure they're not on your like too wispy on your creation. All right. Hot glue, after it like goes out, it can also be remelted with the tip of your nozzle of your hot glue gun, especially if you have a decent one. Actually, if you have a bad one, I'll probably do too much of it because, in my experience, the bad ones just burn your glue if they're on for too long. But you can use it to kind of melt where you've already put glue if you need to retexture it later, like I'm going to do with the fine tipped version. Okay, so yeah, what I did here was I wanted to see if I could start making roots before I get too high on the tree, so I can feel like it's like standing up a little bit more. Okay, that wasn't fully dry. You can see stuff sticking to its skin, but that's okay. We're just messing around. Okay. So this third one I'm doing from the inside of the tube. So I've made a cluster of branches just because I want to see what that looks like before I really start putting them randomly. Um, so this may just represent a portion of the tree where like one branch had split into three. Somebody wasn't pruning him in the forest to make it be more orderly. But yeah, it's looking okay. I have to lean backwards to see on my screen. Yeah, it looks good. I think you guys can see what I'm trying to do. And then, of course, eventually, like a bunch of these little pieces sit on the ends, or I can make my own. We'll see where we're at when we get to that point. Oh my gosh, I'm seeing chats finally. All right. Oh yes. Yeah. No, I got gay jokes for days. Thank you, Rebecca, for laughing at me. I see a lot of people know me. You guys are talking to each other. Yeah, leave me out of this. You guys are talking to each other. You guys got a whole conversation over there. Sorry, I'm off screen. So Black Magic Craft was an inspiration for me because he was able to kind of create so much stuff out of just household items, dollar store items. Um, and that's kind of what's fun about them because you really make it your own, but then it comes out looking really nice. And really with any arts and crafts, a lot of people tell me, "Oh, I'm not that good at painting, or I'm not very artistic." But his style of videos had been totally about like any skill level can come in here and do this. It's not just the Picasso painters or not Picasso, Michelangelo level painting out here, and people who have super expensive 3D printers and people who can afford to buy the big plastic pieces. Any skill level can do it, and I believe that as well. I do realize I like doing art, so I've painted, um, but anybody can do this. Okay, so what I just did here was I created one of the roots um, under the branches there, just to kind of give an idea what that's going to end up looking like. But yeah, if anybody wants to start getting into this hobby, it's totally accessible. Especially, I would say if you start with Wyloch, Wyloch, and then of course he and Black Magic Craft on YouTube. They're both about kind of like a budget D&D terrain building experiences. Wyloch likes to create like one cohesive dungeon based off like pieces of cardboard and paper that he cuts that are very I forgot the word, but where everything can connect together. So if you wanted to build like a temple, or if you wanted to build a city street, or you wanted to build like wood floors, they can be interlocking to each other, like where you could be like, okay, well, the tavern actually opens to a cave in the back, and then you got them connected. RP Archive has a more advanced version of what he was inspired with Wyloch and Black Magic Craft. So that's something I had been working on for a long time here. And of course, I got my 3D printer for miniatures. And so it's kind of nice to be able to do just something where you just stop and do these little arts and crafts again, because I started getting to little advanced mediums where it's like, why would I carve something out of clay when I could just find a free STL and 3D print it on the internet? But that's not the point. You can do whatever you want. Make some more branches. Start this branch lower, maybe. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, and if at any time I want to change something, I can. Um, you know, nothing is set in stone. Nothing is sacred. Everything is permitted. Let's see my skewer poke through the cracks here on this section. So I'm just gonna hot glue to seal it so I don't get splinters on me. And of course, we're gonna hot glue everything as like a coat of hot glue later. So this is gonna be one rubbery tree at the end. So it's no big deal. So you can see it's coming along. Sir Francis, you and your novia can come over right now because mi novio works on these days now, and I don't. I got nothing to do on these days. I'm already out of this round of glue. That's right. I just said that. I just said I'm out of glue. I got to refill. I think this is coming out as a good tree. If it still just looks like metal and paper to you, that's okay. If it looks like somehow I pre-planned every single thing I did, that's also not true. But I feel like this is really coming along. And it's coming along pretty quick. I thought it was going to take longer to get to this point, actually. It would be a good soundtrack for building trees is anything by the band Jungle. But I don't know where our speakers are, so I can have background music. I'll probably get banned off of Instagram or YouTube if I'm doing something like that. And I don't give all my money, so I'm not making to Jungle and have explicit permissions, but that'd be pretty sick. So if you guys are listening at home, like listen to something cool, and if you don't know what to listen to in the background, listen to Jungle. No plans next weekend. All right. It's pretty gnarly. It's a pretty gnarly tree. Let's see. Give me a second here, guys. Okay. I'm going to make some of these branches thicker so I can make them taller. I just kind of pulled up his video to see where he left off. See what's looking different from his dramatic. Not that I'm trying to copy him exactly, but I just wanted to see if he's missing a step. So I kind of like he has, looks like he has new layers of this to kind of like even this shape out. But he has thicker branches too. So I figured you get more rounded down here at the bottom. And then you can extend them a little more because of that. And of course, thicker branches means sturdier piece for your table. Concealing your edges here. Okay. Alright, so that's a thicker branch. As you can see, I still got hot glue that's not fully dried. But yeah, I think that's my next goal here is to kind of widen these guys a bit. See what I can do. So I've kind of made something too fat to my liking, um, so that I have more room to kind of squish it into the shape I want. So that's making me feel better. Then of course I glued a little plate onto this to kind of make it look like these branches are more cohesively coming out of the same tree. Uh, That's it. Okay, we're coming out less twiggy than before. We appreciate that. We can do a different shape. I kind of bent that down to like make it more of a maybe that can be when I play my cards right. It can be something that a miniature could possibly stand if they were to hide in a tree. Make an acrobatics check or an athletics check. See if you climb the tree. Maybe you can find that out. Miniature could stand there. Oh yeah. Oh, it's possible. If we know what we're doing, we're gonna do it. There he is. He climbed the tree. Looks good. Okay. They actually make glue sticks that are like a big roll that are feet and feet long. They just roll up and you don't have to change them. But I just feel like that gets in the way. I would much rather have a million of these small ones in a bag. Day of the week. And just have to change them out myself. Um, even though it's a little bit of a hassle. You gotta do what you gotta do to get the job done. Make it convenient for you. Somebody else is convenient to have rolls and rolls. Not for you, it's okay. Right. Spread that glue out there. As a trunk. Yeah, so to me it kind of looks like the trunk is significantly wider than its branches, which is why I'm trying to thicken up the branches so it doesn't look like, someone had trimmed this tree its whole life and then suddenly started growing branches later. Here's some roots. I didn't love this one, but that's okay because it came right off. We have ways to solidify this better later, but maybe it'll just be a good solid piece of the base to kind of weigh it down. Not quite the waste it may look like. That's why we experiment, because you figure out new things you would have never thought of. And if not, these materials are pretty inexpensive, so they're not going to cost too much if you have to try again. Let me get you out of my way before I ruin him. Gosh. Maybe a long one in the middle for the center of the tree, because I got a lot of branches going off. Not really coming out of the center, so I think I'm gonna put these skewers in the middle here to kind of hold it in a better way when I do start doing something like that. Okay, here we go. Getting my sharps out of my sharps drawer here. Okay, so I made like a teepee out of these things. So I can make a portion of the center of my tree here. I kind of texture it by wrinkling the tinfoil up, and then I begin to fold it into the size I need. Just to avoid straight sections. It is Pride Month, and we do hate the straights. I mean, we do say it's okay to not be straight. One of those things. I don't condone hate on the straights, but I do like making stupid jokes, so you guys can have to deal with that. just burning myself. Alright, so the skewer's idea is an idea. It's one of the foremost ideas I've had today. One of the ideas. Oh, lovely. We got a drip of glue melting and sticking pieces of this tree to other pieces I didn't want it to stick to. Okay. What do we think? Wow, okay, it's kind of look like a tree. Looks a bit like a hand. But you know. What are you going to do? Just checking out my scale. No, looks good. I think it's a good scale. I don't know what Instagram can see with their non-horizontal video capture or video footage. They look a little empty in the back here, so we're gonna create something for that too. This one got kind of lumpy in the middle. Incredible shreddable here. What's about this too is then if you were trying to do something in a more organized fashion, I thought of doing like trying to build the exact same looking tree, but then doing different flocking to make it look like different seasons. You know, to show times past, but also to kind of match, like, hey, you've returned, but now it's the fall, so we have orange flocking for orange leaves, or it's spring, so we have little flowers, or it's winter, so it's barren, or uh, like a horror theme, or you could show the villain having corrupted the forest, so what was once a beautiful green, luscious green tree, if you can build the exact same one but without leaves, it's like, okay, well, now your favorite great deco tree is just riggedy wrecked over here. You know? That's right, riggedy wrecked. I'll say it again, riggedy wrecked. Unless someone comes here and tells me that the origins of that term is actually racist or something, I'll say it. Got kind of a low branch going on. Ooh, I'm almost out of tinfoil. Yeah, this is already kind of top heavy, so I'm feeling. Yeah, maybe I'll leave room to put like a washer. You can get those at hardware stores for really cheap. You get a whole bunch of them. At the end of my aluminum foil roll here, where all the kind of glue is on it. Doing it perfectly straight, but like we've been saying, you don't gotta be straight in hard enough. Looks like my Instagram feed dropped. Oh, and we're back on. Sorry about that, Instagrammers. My feed dropped off for who knows why. I don't know what the rules are about this program I'm using, but I have because I'm not spending a billion dollars. Sorry about the echo. I don't know what the rules are about this program I'm using to be able to stream on multiple platforms at once. I don't even know if it's saving my stream for poor old guy who told me to do this. But that's okay. Because we're living in the moment. And he's living in a different moment. But we're all living. We're all doing our thing. Sorry, I stood up and I'm not even on the screen. I'm kind of sealing a trunk to it. So it's all hopefully aluminum foiled up. Kind of using a layer on the outside to help hide those gaps between the branches and create this flatter surface that will create further illusion that it's one cohesive piece. Just like a real tree doesn't look like the branches are stuck on later. They look like it's splitting into the spines of the sticks and the branches. I think I'm still missing a root to put on here. And we still got time for it. So, okay, there we go. Add just one more root. Now we have 5 roots to help balance this sucker. But it feels very top heavy, and of course we're going to be adding leaves and stuff to it. Flocking and playing with it and bumping the table. It's going to make it feel clumsy, I guess. I don't want it to kind of fall over so easy. And hopefully these little roots also serve as a way to prevent this guy from falling over. We'll probably have more of an issue of minis falling out of our trees. But, we're going to also have more issues with our characters feeling their checks and falling out of the tree anyway, so. Alright. So yeah, aluminum foil tree, it looks good. Good thing I'm almost out of aluminum foil, because I feel like this is something I could see myself just continuing to try to tweak and add to until the point that I don't realize at what point it's too far. We don't want to do too much, but there's more we can do, It's like I'm making it really thick right there, but when I look from a distance, I feel like it looks better than up close, of course, but it's not a finished product, and that's okay. Add to our branch here. Make this one a little bit longer. And then I want to seal the deal. A little bit as well. So they're kind of stuck together. Alright. Yeah, if you're just joining in, I am just crafting. I craft all the time, but I never do it on video. I usually watch videos while I craft. But a friend of mine suggested I should stream it, and everybody was busy today, so I was like, okay, I'll try it. And of course, that friend is busy today as well, can't actually watch this. I'm pretty sure it's not recording on any of my platforms. Streaming on Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, but I can only see the Instagram comments. If you guys have questions, I'll check every once in a while. So I'm just super gluing aluminum to basically bamboo skewers or wooden skewers and toilet paper roll, and it has turned into this monster that is going to eventually look like a tree. It's not bad, not bad. I'm spending some time making my branches a little bit thicker. It looks like it's a cohesive piece now. Make my branches a little bit longer, a little bit more tapered. But we don't have to make it perfect because the top portion, of course, is covered in flocking and leaves. Well, it's trying to be. Let's see if I can widen this one a little bit. A nice way. I want this branch to maybe be utilized as a place where your miniatures can stand for a while. Shoot some arrows from a higher location or climb a tree to save a kid or something. My cat got stuck in a tree a couple weeks ago because she's dumb. And turns out the fire department doesn't come out to rescue kittens unless it's like a small town that they want to make the front page paper for. They got to come out for real emergencies, for human emergencies. But it turns out cats are actually pretty smart. They're pretty. They can handle being stuck in a tree and figuring it out, even if they're a little scared at first. They are built to, um, climb and survive falls and all that stuff. That didn't make me any less nervous when she was stuck in a tree. But after 3 hours, she was like, "You know what? I'm hungry," and finally came down. She was just too dumb to figure out she could climb backwards. So she just kept climbing up instead of down. Alright. But yeah, that looks like a tree. Look, and I have a new roll, a new tree branch, or tree trunk. That actually might be better to use in the beginning, so it doesn't look as chonky as it does now. I'm going to try to make these roots be a little bit wider as well, if I can. I'm just kind of making it longer by accident. The roots I don't need to be as long. I just want them to be thicker. Because hopefully I'll be smart enough to figure out how to do the illusion that the roots are going into the ground. So they don't need to be sticking out quite so far. But they do, but in practicality, they are support to this crappy tree. All right, by my only followers right now, Ryan and Rebecca, but I'm gonna keep it up. People can pop in. People can watch this later if YouTube is actually recording it, which I don't think it is, but I'm just gonna see what happens. I don't know. Printing a blue seal around my root system. Feels more sturdy. Oops. Tips higher. I'm gonna kind of squish the core a little bit and see if that helps create more of a neat trunk texture or if I regret it. I kind of do, but we can fix it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I filled back out. Oh, it actually looks so much better. Okay, so I kind of squished little indents into my toilet paper roll, so it's not quite like a full cylinder, like the whole thing looking like that. Got these little textures in it. And of course, the aluminum helped keep the shape where it's kind of more of like a lumpy trunk. Because I feel like an old tree like this is going to not be a perfect cylinder all the way up. All right. So this monster that I've created is supposed to be a tree for miniature tabletop games. Nice. Oh. Only took an hour and 20 minutes to get to this point, but this is what we're looking like so far. In this center branch, I think it's going to be more for support. Now, what comes next can go a multitude of ways. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do yet. Some people put like a mesh netting like this. I couldn't find a green one. I found a teal one, and then it got spray paint on it just now. But I figured a black one would be better. And then basically put mesh netting like this across to create the canopy, and then of course the flocking like this glued to it, so it looks like little clumps of the different leaves. We'll go look for some things, but in the meantime, let's switch to a little break video. All right, I'm gonna stop the stream and I'll pick it up again in a little while. But I'm gonna take a break and find some things. Continue messing with my tree here. All right, guys.